Alright, we are back with some more Raging Loop. Last time we have the first werewolf kill. It was Matashima, the old one, not the high school girl. Which was unexpected. I didn't really guess it, but I do think it's still a good kill. And even though it didn't really play out like I thought it would, Yasunaga's still not off the sus list for now. But yeah, let's see how the village handles it and how they're gonna vote now, because they probably are gonna vote someone off, right? And I guess we do have the good part of this is we do have at least guaranteed confirmation for Takumi's choice. Like we'll know who's a villager for sure, which is good at least. Unless he ignored the orders and investigated Matsushima, which would be horrible. But yeah. I mean, it would be smart because it would be smart in a way because I didn't think following the crowd and investigating Nobito, what's his name? Whatever his name is, was a good play, but it'd be unfortunate that he went against the crowd but then chose the murder victim. So, but yeah, let's just see what happens. He covered his destroyed face with a nearby hand towel and prepared to carry it. We lifted it up, and yeah, this was definitely a job for two people. We went out into the mist.
サラナガに捨てるんですか？ばあちゃんはそうしろって。そうしなければ汚れると。あ。
A voice devoid of life. I couldn't call out to him. Pushing him any further was dangerous. I could tell by the air about him.
俺のせいだ。どうしてです？俺が宴でヘマやったから。
Why? That was entirely possible. This proved he was aware of it himself. I mean, yeah, probably shouldn't say he was the snake, but why would this result in Matsushima being killed? I would have said that, but I felt wrong.
僕にはよくわかりませんが。
I mean, he already self-admitted it, so you don't really need to say anything.
少なくとも、匠さんがご自分なりにベストを尽くそうとされてるように見えますよ。だからって失敗したら何にもならねえ。じゃあ取り返さないとですね。これからは多分あなたが安水をまとめていくことになる。
Take up the role. Well, classic shiftlet. I mean, I guess you could. I don't know. I mean, the grandmas are already still there at the main role.
俺には無理だ。
Well, I couldn't either. I was just an outsider, so I had no idea how to console him. Feeling powerless, we approached the dining hall. We passed by here and go straight for the graveyard. Tai Yamawaki-san had come out to she in the midst of prayer. Kairi Oribe-san was standing next to her. She looked completely out of it. Rikako Umatsu was covering Meiko's eyes and looking straight at me. And they were kind of baiting that there was like something wrong with Haru-chan, the other Matsushima, last episode, but I think she didn't do it. I don't know. I think it's too baity. Haru-chan, Kanzo's actual granddaughter, was watching her grandfather's corpse with an intense expression. She looks pissed. It probably wasn't good to make any assumptions here, but I couldn't help it. I felt like her expression was full not of unbearable sorrow, but of anger, hatred, and disgust. Yeah, that's what I was getting, but I don't know if that means that she's a werewolf. Still not really sus of her. Again, the only person on the sus list is Yasunaga for me right now, that I actually feel like there's a good chance of them being a werewolf. I'd never seen them have a nice chat, so I wouldn't have been surprised if they didn't see eye to eye. But still, I'd have liked it if she made a different expression, if only for this moment. I could only think that because I was an outsider who didn't know shit. It wasn't good to make assumptions. Shit. Why was I in this position? Just how much could I even learn in my position? But as it turned out, I was still underestimating the situation. Excuse me.
よし君がどこにもいない。
Yeah, the delinquent was missing too. But we know the werewolves only kill once per night. But you could die from corruption if you're out, but we'd probably find them, right? Because they just turn into like a pile of mush. We met Jamie on the way to the graveyard. She and the two heist eyes were still searching, but the mist made it extremely difficult. We told her we joined once we buried Hanzo-san and picked up our pace. I like the delinquent guy. Hope he's not dead. The graveyard wasn't that far. Yasumizu wasn't very big. It only felt like it was because of the mists or the load. Bodies are heavy. What's up, homie? My boy? I think this guy's innocent. Even though he should still be trapped, but it's my soul read, alright? I'd completely forgotten about him. He was alright too, huh? I had no idea why, but he was looking at us, clapping and laughing. That meant that Yoshitsuru or Ribikun was the only one we hadn't seen yet. I was told that there'd only be one. The wolves were supposed to kill only one person per night. Not saying a word, I hurried to finish the job. Unless the only other option I can think of is a wolf didn't kill Matashima. Just because, like, as they described his death last episode, like, his face was completely, like, crushed, like, smashed in. It was a very human kill. Not beast-like at all. But yeah, I don't know. That led us to finding him early. No! See, this... I don't know. This seems more wolf-like if we're just taking what we're seeing here, which is just him being completely ripped to pieces. And then who would kill Matashima? Don't ask me. No, dude, I like the delinquent guy. This is a fucked up loop. Yoshitsuru-kun was on the shortest path to the cliff in the grass of the graveyard. Though Tatsumi-san had only noticed him by chance, that was how deep in the grass he was, and how many pieces of him there were. It reeked of death too, but it was mixed with the smell of trampled grass and a strange beastly odor. Okay, I mean that means he got killed by the werewolf. Which is a really weird kill, actually. Like, if you think someone killed Matashima and a werewolf killed the delinquent, I'd have to, like, look back at the meeting, but I can't really think of any reason to kill him. Seems kind of random. Maybe not all the blood was around here was his. Like Kanto-san, he left clear proof of a tough battle and intense pain. Alright, fight back. Those muscles weren't for nothing.
Yoshi.
Tatsumi-san's voice was shaking. He picked up a soccer ball-sized object. His head? Half-eaten and basically a shadow of what it used to be, it clenched its teeth even in death.
いいですか?
We're autopsy. Tatsumi-san gave it Yoshitsuru-kun's head to me and I put my finger in its mouth. I was curious about what was stuck in there. What I found was a clump of beastly fur. Bro was biting the werewolf. You literally fought tooth and nail, resisting until the very end. I wonder if we can see if anyone is injured in the group. If he really, like, fought that hard. That might be an indicator. But I don't know how it, like, translates to when they go from wolf to human. How the wounds translate. Resisting what? Obviously the being that brought the corruption. Yeah, or we can say that Matashima was killed by the werewolves and Yoshitsuru was killed by the corruption, which is in the form of a werewolf. It's very weird, though. But that was the implication. That the werewolf thing was the corruption thing. It didn't take long for the news of Yoshitsuru Oribe's death to spread across the village. It heard that the pain of losing one's child was beyond any description. Even so, Kaori Oribe-san broke down so badly it felt abnormal. The mild-mannered woman became a mad beast. We had to band up to keep her from running to where we found Yoshitsuru-kun's corpse. We had already gathered it up and thrown it into Saranaga after all. Takumi-san kept a tuft of the boy's bleached hair, which he gave to Kaori-san. She instantly put it in her mouth. Through her wailing and choking, she did her best to chew and swallow it. It was a wretched, gloomy, and miserable sight. Though it might have been an act born of ultimate motherly love. I mean, that's literally what it was. Yeah. Whatever the case, no matter the shape, it was too late to try and bring her child back into herself, not to mention absurd and pointless. That was how it looked in my eyes. Let me in. Let me in. I want to see all the juicy details firsthand. I mean, it's not the same person. Probably. The only way, I mean, nah. I was gonna say, unless Matashima just accepted it because it's his fate of being chosen by the werewolf, because you know you're gonna die. Which made sense, but I don't know, man. His words got the attention of basically everyone present. But they didn't reach the sobbing mother and her older son, who was gently consoling her. Yoshitsuru-kun. Why did he have to go against the laws? His efforts in death had only worked to corner not just his mother, but everyone else here. Yeah, if he really just died from corruption, it's pretty bad. It was useless. He got in some weird fur for us? No one, not even me, had any doubts about what we were dealing with here. A situation where everyone was desperate, acted on their own accord, and didn't know how to use their lives well was basically the worst. And apparently this line of thinking I had would foreshadow the next turn of events. Shit, why was everyone in such a hurry to do the worst things possible? Chemi, Serizawa, Chikamochi, Kamoshida, Takumi, Muro, and I went out to search for Haru Matashima. Kaori-san showed no signs of calming down, so Yasunada stayed with her. Kyonosuke refused to come, arguing that it would be bad if there wasn't enough manpower around the dining hall. He wasn't wrong about that. I mean, if there's no werewolves in the day, then it doesn't matter, really. It wasn't unlikely that some fur-covered murderer or Haru-chan's kidnapper was still around. I don't think she got kidnapped. To prevent any surprise attacks or accidents, we split into pairs. We were given a hoe and a sickle for self-defense. Good old sickle action. Damn, we're paired with Mochi, huh? I'll take it. I like Mochi. Stop calling me that. The skirt would have made the search harder for him, so he changed into his school uniform. It wasn't cut out for the job either, but he had no other clothes, and at least it was better than a one-piece dress. Fair. He seemed to enjoy wearing girls' clothes, so changing into the uniform was probably his way of showing he was serious about this. He kept his easygoing tone of voice, but I felt like there was gravity in his eyes too. He might have been pretty shaken. We walked around Yasumizu, shouting until our throats became dry. We checked every bush, all the patches of tall grass, and behind every tree. We even searched the water around the paddy fields, but it didn't feel like we were any closer to finding her.
彼女はどうしたと思う？
わからん。自分のじっちゃんが死んでショックだったのかも。
いや、その前だ。
Yeah.
朝から何かおかしかったろ。
That's true. I guess, even though I wasn't sus of her, if I am going with the idea that maybe the werewolf killed the delinquent guy and not Matsushima, then maybe she could have killed Matsushima. Maybe. I don't think she's a werewolf, but she could be that killer, I guess.
そうだっけ？
彼女、ちょっと潔癖症なところがある。
That is not a real word. Let me, where's my phone, bro? I do not believe that's a word. Fastidious? That's worth a Google. For sure. Congratulations, you earned the 7-day stretch badge? What's that? You completed at least 2 books in a single week. Sorry, I'm looking at my Audible achievements. That's not true. I read 1 book in 2 weeks. So I don't know why I got that, but okay. I'll take it. What was I doing? Oh, sorry, I got sidetracked. That happens easy for me. Fastidious. By the way, I read Hell House from the 1970s. Good book for sure. Very attentive and concerned about accuracy and detail. Huh. Very attentive. Okay.
潔癖？
Hey, he's just like me for real. Nobody uses that word in... I swear, if you've actually used fastidious in your real life, let me know, man. Or just in a conversation.
そういうのを嫌う感じ。最初に会った時からそんな感じはあったかと思うんだけど。
By the way, that's literally not even what it is. I mean, it kind of is. Attentive to detail. So I guess stuff being dirty would... Yeah, okay. But it's not exactly what it means.
というか、休みずで一番怖がりなんだよね、はるちゃん。
Scaredy cat, huh?
昔話の汚れとか、昔からすごく怖がってたし、ある意味、汚れるのを嫌がってたのかも。
なるほど。
Fear based on superstition? That made sense, but why had it suddenly gotten worse? What happened last night?
だから、はるちゃんが狼でも、誰も殺したりできないと思うんだな。
君はそう考えてるのか？
はるちゃんが狼かどうかは別として、もし狼でも無理だろうって言っておる。
慎重だな。君らしくもない。
僕自身のことじゃないからね。
君とまで腹芸をやりたいわけじゃないんだ。はるちゃんについて何か考えがあるなら言ってくれないか？
何を疑ってるのか僕には分からんけど、僕の中でははるちゃんはやっすんと同じかそれ以上に大事なもので、それ以外何にも大事じゃないんだよね。
Not even Chiemi?
だからとっとと探そうよ。
正論だ。
But no matter how hard we searched, we saw no signs of her. She could have been hiding somewhere, or maybe she collapsed. But I was beginning to entertain another idea.
彼女が休みずを出た可能性は？
I wonder if, like, you're the werewolf, can you just, like, hide? And when the feast happens, they can't hang you because you're just not at the meeting? Isn't that kind of cheese, though? I feel like that's breaking the rules. Yes, knowing everyone would deny the idea.
相当考えにくいけど。
霧の休みずは黄泉の国とつながってんだってばあちゃんは言ってる。だから出ようとしても
Definitely don't want to go to Yomi.
まああと 単純に危ないよね、山の中は。
その心情は承知した上で聞きますが、それでもあえて彼女が村を逃げ出したとした場合、彼女にどんな心境の変化があったと考えられる？
Maybe she knows something? Everyone fell silent. They couldn't even imagine it. It was like that their brains had stopped working. If she'd actually wandered out into danger, then we'd waste too much time searching for her in the village. I had to hurry, so I didn't hesitate to use some big assumptions that bordered on chicanery.
彼女
I
に
do
と
know
ってこの村
what
が
that means.
あるいは人がもはや信頼できる場でないとすれば、
どういうこと？
深夜あるいは早朝に彼女は何かを目撃したのかもしれません。あ
Some
るい
sort
は
of
何らかの
clue.
証拠に気づいたのかも。自分のよく知る人物が狼になって人を平然と殺した、その事実を確信できるような何かにね。
Everyone gasped.
彼女は若いし不安定なところもある。
It's a pretty good assumption.
安水は狭い
I don't
社
hate
会
it.
だから、心の拠り所が失われれば居場所がないように感じられてもおかしくないし、
I charted.
苛烈な性格であるハルちゃんなら一年発起して脱出を試みるなんてことも考えられるんじゃないか。
説得力あるな。
しかしならどうする？諦めろっつうのか。
That was the thought of someone from Yasumizu.
僕は汚れてもいいからハルちゃんを探しに行く。
And that was the thought of someone from Yasumizu who had few screws loose.
そんなわけで外出に抵抗感のないよそ者である僕も行きます。
Yeah,
だ
sure.
からそれ止めるって言ったよね。
Yeah, just you tried, Shammy. What are you gonna do?
大丈夫。やばそうだったらすぐ引き返す。あるとすればサラナガ方面のはずないから通学路側を探す。
Maybe she's in that weird, like, storage shed you saw.
それに大人が子供を見捨てるわけにはいかんでしょというやつで。
ハッサン。
Look at the blush.
反論しようがない
New
よ
face.
そんなの。
もちろん彼女がまだ休みずにいる可能性は十分ある。二人は引き続き集落内を探していただけますか？
任せてくれ。
危なかったら絶対逃げてよ。
I mean,
ハッ
if
サ
the
ン。
corruption werewolf finds us, we're probably just dead, though.
どれ？
ハルちゃんが何かを見たから誰も信じなくなって逃げたって話。
うん。それが？
多分本当じゃないよね。
I thought it was a good assumption. Did you tell me I got baited?
さあ、僕はあくまで可能性として言ったに過ぎないが、本当かもしれないとは思ってるよ。
Yeah, I thought it was a fair assumption.
例えば僕やヤッスンが牙とか生やしてう
Dude.
ろついてるのを見たとか。
Wait, I didn't even connect that. If it was Yasunagi, it actually helps confirm my Yasunagi is a guilty theory. Let's go. Hold on. I'm cooking.
まあ、それも可能性だね。
I don't think it's Mochi, dude. I think it's Yasunagi. I'm still locked in.
なんていうかそうじゃない気がする。
ただの勘かい。
そうただの勘だけど、それで言え
I don't
ば
know if I trust his intuition yet. Over mine.
この読み意味の宴ってさ、そういう方法で狼を見つけらんないようにできてる気がする。
Obviously.
夜出歩けないから目撃ができない。
Oh,
一
that's
箇所
what he
に
meant,
固まって相
actually.
互監
Okay.
視もできない。警察を呼べないから科学捜査も無理。おまけに全部霧の中で何が何だかわからないうちにことが進んでいく。
Yeah, I mean, in real mafia games, you close your eyes while they choose who to kill, so you're supposed to find them from pure logic and vibe checks over physically seeing them, so I kind of doubt what Mochi's saying.
だから、
Maybe it's
そういう
unlikely.
証拠とかじゃ狼を見つけられない。
How could the players send people to be hanged without the slightest bit of material evidence? If you ignore the weird guardian powers, it was all quibbles, agitations, sophistry, emotional arguments, connections, popularity. Yeah, that's mafia, baby. Pure logic, zero evidence needed. Basically the power of communication.
よくわからんけど、そんな感じでちゃんとできてるんじゃない？
Nothing was certain. They were put in a dangerous argument, with their only weapons being eloquence. It was a feast of doubting, hurting, and eventually killing one another. If there was such malice behind this, then Chikamochi Kamoshida had a point.
もしや君は探偵タイプなんじゃないの？
いやー、それは休んだな。もしかしたら、や
'Cause
つ
he's a
はもうい
werewolf.
ろいろわかってるかもしれないぞ。
I'd have to talk to him then. Great idea, actually. I want a nice one-on-one with him. We arrived at the mountain pass separating Yasumizu from the rest of the world. The large stones at the sides were like torii without a top. They might have had religious significance.
別にここから一歩でも出たらアウトなんてルールはないよね。
宴から逃げちゃダメだっていうのはあるけどね。
Yeah, that's what I thought. If a werewolf can just hide from the feast, that would just break the game. We were going to find out to find Haruchan, so we were good. Ignoring the fact that Haruchan was breaking that law, we passed between the stones. But we soon had to stop. The path was blocked by a landslide. According to Mochi, despite being pretty rocky, the ground in this area was strangely fragile, so landslides weren't that uncommon. There had been some pretty bad rain 3 nights ago, hadn't there? If that was related to the mist's appearance, it wasn't unlikely that we'd get both the mist and this landslide at the same time. Despite that, this felt just a bit too convenient. I had to consider the possibility that the people in the settlement above blocked the road to keep the Yomibito from getting through. I mean, I guess, yeah.
ハッサン、
Doesn't really matter to the game, though. It's just locking people in.
これは
There was something way more important. We found footprints in the still damp mud. It was proof that she'd passed through here. They disappeared into a small cliff that only reached up to my shoulders. She'd have to climb up and disappeared into the forest. Is it our footprints? I mean, can we really confirm that? I mean, I guess who else would it be, but
急ごう。
still. Let's just follow it and see what happens.
だな。
The term virgin forest was used to describe forests that were still untouched by mankind, letting nature have complete control over it. Many of the cedars here looked imported, so that term probably didn't apply to this one. However, it was intended to whatsoever, so the words natural or undeveloped definitely worked. There are many fern saplings on the surface, a canopy of leaves above, and a thick mist all around. It certainly didn't feel like a place humans were welcome. For better or worse, the new fern seemed slightly trampled, indicating someone had passed through recently.
こっちだ。
気をつけなよ。彼女が迷った道でもある。
はるちゃ
なあ、大声出して大丈夫か？
It's not like the wolves will kill in the daytime, so I don't see a problem not to.
ーん。山の基本。獣は声で逃げる。
That's fair, actually. Oh yeah, I'd almost forgot about the very real threat of wild animals. I realized I lost myself in the mood and became kind of embarrassed.
はるちゃーん！
The only bad thing is if Haru's trying to hide, she'd just run away from the voice, though.
返事してー。
Shouting over and over, we kept moving forward. She tried to follow the path, but all the cliffs and boulders in the way made her stray from it. 10 minutes later, we lost our sense of direction. Yeah, this place really was dangerous. Could we really find her? And even if we did, wouldn't it be too late? I was reminded of Yoshitsuru Oribe and his cruel fate. Were we about to lose yet another life? Well, what time is it? Isn't it like still pretty early? Or what? Cause this you only die from corruption at night, right? Or if you break the rules, which you're not. As my thoughts turn to that real very possibility. That real very possibility. Sorry, I'm messing up words right now, man. Wait, hold on. At least she's not dead. I heard some weak weeping.
はるちゃん、
もっち
Saved?
来ないで
Maybe?
無事なのか？
お願い追ってこないで
I had a bad feeling about this. Same. Something really bad might have happened to her. It almost gives me werewolf vibes, but I don't know.
待ってて。
But she wouldn't be a werewolf right now.
あ、おい。
Shitomochi went after the voice with no hesitation. His body was quickly buried under all the plants and mist.
ハッサン、手を貸して。
His lack of hesitation felt dangerous in some way. Was I just imagining it? Anyway, I went after him and quickly caught up. Ah,
痛いよ
save her. Haru Matsushima was buried under all the greenery.
足だね。
Okay. Well, at least it's not bad. I mean, maybe her leg's bad, but she's not like turning into a werewolf right now or something. I walked up and man, this was pretty bad. Yeah, I didn't mean the leg. I mean her being like a werewolf. It kind of felt like that vibe before we went up to her. Her leg was all covered in blood. Her shoe and foot were pierced by a sapling that was broken right at the bottom.
こいつを踏み抜いたのか。枝を折れるか。
How do you step on like a stake so hard it pierces through your shoe into your foot though? Like, can it be that sharp if it's made of wood?
無理め。抜くしかない。
Ooh, gnarly.
傷が開くぞ。
血止め草と毒ダミが生えてる。あれで傷塞ごう。
Natural remedies.
そんなことができる
I
の
don't know
か。
if I trust that, but what can you do?
のさとは薬作ってた家だかんね。
Family tat. Also Nosato, not Nobito. Keep messing that up. First I'd heard of that, but I had no choice but to believe him. She resisted verbally, but she was too tired and weakened to do it physically. I picked her up, doing my best to ignore her, wailing because of the pain, and pulled her away from the branch. Chikamochi quickly took care of her wound and used a handkerchief to stop the bleeding. Oh my god, dude. What is wrong with me right now?
戻ろう。ハッサン、担げる？
もちろん。君が追わなくてもいいのか？
Brother, Mochi is built like a twig. Probably be harder for him.
なんだかな。単に体格の問題さ。
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. Good on Haru for looking out for his boy. Because, you know, there's the weird love triangle thing going on. I don't know if Mochi's in it. Maybe it's a love square. I thought of saying that Haru-chan would have preferred him, but she was barely conscious thanks to the pain. Yeah, no time to be conscientious here, man. The wound's really bad. They should try to get her back as soon as possible. We didn't have time to waste on sentimentality.
先導は頼む。ミイラ取りがミイラだけは勘弁な。
戻るだけなら余裕。ただやっぱり山を抜けるのは無謀っぽい。
Yeah, leaving Yasumizu. Agreed.
はるちゃんよかった無事だったんだ
Okay, werewolf.
あんま無事じゃない。匠にタイバー呼んで。傷の手当。
わかった
Oh, he's always angry. Our return caused quite a commotion, and by the time things had begun to calm down, it was way past noon. Okay, yeah, so we weren't even late. I don't know why we were sweating. Like, not making it in time or being chased by the corruption. Haru Matashima's escape attempt distracted everyone, but none of the problems were actually solved, so she really was just trying to escape the village. Okay. I mean, it's kind of dumb, but she is a teenage girl, so comes with the territory. Kanzo Matashima was killed by the wolves, while Yoshitsuru Oribe was taken by the corruption. I don't know about that. I'm so shaky, man. It made sense, but like, why does the corruption seem like the wolves while the wolf kill seems like humans? I don't really get it. For now. Yoshitsuru-kun's death was especially problematic. Each meaningless death was yet another obstacle against resolving the feast. Yeah, it just makes the odds worse. Even if they picked and hugged someone during the day, it would have guaranteed that there'd be one less wolf. It was way more likely that they'd get rid of an innocent. We need some serious vibe checks. Even worse, the wolves in the group would most likely try to leverage the hangings in their favor. Yep, that's the whole point, too. Honestly, just any death that isn't, like, a mafia or a wolf is just good for them, because it just accelerates winning. It's hard. I feel like the best way to find, like, a mafia out when you're playing this game is to just, like, pay attention to how people act, like, if you know them, which Haru doesn't really know them, so if there's, like, any inconsistencies with their game, or just how they, like, respond to questioning and stuff, you can kind of, like, a lot of the time, without the logic part, it really is just, like, vibing to see if they're a liar or not. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm, like, kind of good at it, but that's because I play with, like, a group of people I know pretty well. But if you're just, like, if you're in Haru's position right now, it'd be really hard since you barely know these people. So it's hard to, like, really check the vibe. They claim to be innocent while casting doubt and blame on the other survivors. To win, the humans need to do their best to see through such trickery and identify the wolves, possibly even making them confess. That was how I saw it anyway. I mean, they're never gonna confess. What's the point? Just gotta lie to the end. Hopefully it works. And that was the one with the least info here. Honestly, the wolves need to kill the crow, so even if they die, we can't confirm they're dead. Like, we can't confirm if they're a wolf or not, the people we hanged. So, like, if you pretend you're innocent to the end and you get hanged and you're still a wolf, like, it'll be hard to think, like, they still might think there's two wolves. With that in mind, all humans who died by breaking the rules were actually doing the wolves a favor. True. Let's not be big when we loop and we get those two reporter people saved and we have, like, 2 extra bodies to play with. If she'd actually disappeared, I'd have said the same thing about Haru Matashima, assuming she was human anyway. Perhaps someone encouraged them to break the rules. If that was the case, the wolves were ruthless, knew the rules well, and were steadily advancing toward a complete victory where all humans lay dead.
集落の有力者、あるいは今後のゲーム展開を左右するような優秀なプレイヤー。
肝臓じいちゃん、あるいはヤスくん。
Oh my god, please get on the Yasu sus train. I don't even care. You might bring up Aiden if they think Yasu's sus and they're saying it out loud. That means he's probably not sus. That's a dumb fallacy, man. Just because it looks obvious in game doesn't mean it's not them automatically. Actually, he wasn't even saying that, but I'm just saying. And just as we feared yesterday, the wolves had silenced one of the most important people in the feast. It was hard to believe they'd chosen him just because they were scum or because they didn't like him. The situation was really bad. Boopy. Another thing to note was that Yashutsuge Oribe's death greatly affected Kaori-san, who was responsible for everyone's meals. That was a major problem, I guess. Oh, she is looking rough. Good thing we're on the ramen diet. When she tried to give us tea once we returned from the search, her face was pale and she was shaking like she was having a seizure. Despite her attempt to carry on as normal, her composure was in pieces. It was so painful I could barely watch. Takumi-san should have been supporting her, but he was just gloomily hanging his head. In the end, Shimi had to lead Kairi-san back to her room and stay at her side. I can only hope that was enough to calm her down. However, it was nearly time to do the inevitable. Feast, 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 feast. Kyonosuke Shi addressed the downhearted people gathering in the dining hall.
まだ始められそうな感じじゃねえだろ。
Well, you gotta do it, man. You don't even need to kill someone technically, depending on the numbers game right now, but it's important. Base no Sato. This is why I like this guy. He's on my like list, man. Him and the old man, and Mochi kind of. But I just like him. I don't know. I don't think this guy's a wolf though, for sure. He's too antagonistic to be a wolf. Unless...
わかったよ。安永、上の連中にまず声かけてみてくれ。
That was where Tai-chan looked after Haru-chan and Shimi looked after Kairi-san.
あ、僕行く。
いいよ、モッチー。
いいからさ。
Chikamochi winked at me for some reason.
時間かかるかもよ。
ああ。
Don't wink at me, kid.
全員出なきゃまずいしな。
用意します。
I don't know what I think about Ritato. Honestly, most of my sus was at the fucking beginning. Hey, before you play, I'm Ritato. I'm just a nobody. But I don't know. She seems kind of innocent, but it's like she knows the rules. She's almost like a referee, even though she's not. She's part of the game. I don't know. I lean innocent towards Ritato. Plus, she has a funny personality. Still think we need to check Mako out, even though she might just be the sheep girl. That was my chance.
安永君、ちょっといいかい？
Huge.
なんでしょう。
Roast him. Roast him. It's our time.
弟さんのこと残念だったね。
はい。そう言ってもらえて、あいつも少しは救われると思います。
随分と大人びた言い方をするんだね。
もうちょっと素朴な方が良かったですかね。
This boy was already pretty mature.
兄弟の仲はあまり良くなかった？
いえ、そんなことは。最近ちょっとすれ違い気味だっただけで、本当はあいつ、いいやつですから。
それは僕もそう思うよ。心からグレてる子じゃなかったろうし、お母さんとの仲も？
ええ。悪い言葉を使ったりもしてましたが、義継は母のことが好きでしたし、母も多分、僕よりは義継のことを。
That's a harsh second half of the sentence.
ああ、いや、そんなことを聞きたいんじゃなかったんだ。
Werewolf motivation, maybe? Werewolf motivation? If you think that Yasunada wasn't, or not Yasunada, Yoshitsuru was killed by a werewolf and someone just killed Nakashima? Randomly? Not randomly, but like a human killed him? Could be motivation, little resentment against his brother? Question mark? Hold on, the Yasunada theory just keeps building, man. I'm so confident. All human relations were complicated. Prying too deeply wasn't a good idea.
すみません。何を答えましょうか。
いくつかあるんだけど、主に伝説上のことだよ。
それならタイさんの方が。
もうちょっと理屈のわかる人に聞きたいところなんだ。一つ目、狼はどうして人を殺すんだと思う？
This isn't what I wanted from this conversation, but we'll take it, I guess.
それは、かつて人間に騙されて殺された恨みで。
言い直そう。狼役の人間はどうしてかつての仲間や家族をためらいなく殺せるんだと思う？
maybe it's a kill or be killed situation. But even then, you feel like some of the more compassionate people might just choose to be killed. So, well, they did also imply that maybe the wolves actually like killed or kidnapped the original people and just took their form too. So it might not even be them. But I get what he's saying. Like, just because they got the role, how are they so willingly able to kill villagers that they're all obviously close with, since it's such a small community?
えああ、あの、もしかして、僕やハルちゃんを疑って、
I'm suspicious of you, not Haru-chan.
ああ、いや、ごめん、そうじゃない。
This is a vibe check. This is a vibe check.
一般論で考えてみて。じゃあ君が、はい、
He's
あんたは
defensive.
狼で
I
すっ
don't
て
know.
言われて、それじゃあ仕方ないって殺人ができる？
Ooh.
できるわけないでしょ。
そう。できるわけない。無論、できる人間もいるだろうが、良識や恐怖からできない人間の方が多いんじゃないか？特にモッチーなんかを見てると思う。ここの人たちは特定の概念的存在に恐怖を持ってるが、それは絶対じゃない。自分の好きな人を守るためには、汚れや狼に立ち向かうことだってできるはずなんだ。
それは、モッチーが特別なんですよ。
Genius.
天才だから。
天才？
ええ。普通のやつにできない予想や決断を平然とやってのけますし、本当に大事なもの以外は全部捨てられるんです。
Sounds more like a sociopath than a genius, but
他の人はあいつがおかしいんだって言いますけど、僕はあ
I
いつのこ
can,
と
I
を
mean,
天才
I
だ
can
と思ってます。
understand feeling like respect in that way. That is kind of an admirable trait in some sort of fashion.
なるほど。それには同感かも。ただ、僕が言いたいのは、君たちが汚れという魔法の一言だけで殺人者になるような人間じゃないってこと。もちろん、やらなきゃ汚れだ。最終的にやっちゃう人もいるだろう。ためらいつつ、遠慮がちにさ。ところが今回狼は、何の躊躇もなくやってる。
どこに話を着地させたいのかわかんないんですが、狼の性格や素質による
True,
んじゃない
true,
ですか。
true. I mean, I think we're just trying to find out the whole framework of the game instead of like actually solving who's the wolf right now.
もともと人を殺すことに抵抗のない人ならやってのけるんじゃ。
Yeah, but the point Haru's making is a large majority of people have aversion to killing. Like, it's definitely the minority of people who can who don't have an aversion to killing, right? Or at least I'd imagine. I don't know the statistics. Like, even like edgy people who like might say some stupid shit like "I'll kill you" or whatever, they probably don't want to kill anyone. Or at least they wouldn't if they had the chance. Maybe they do want to kill someone, but they just wouldn't be able to if they had the chance.
狼は2匹いるんだよね。
ええ、そのようですね。
なるほど。じゃあ聞くが、この小さな安水という集落で、2人以上の殺人者の素質十分な奴がいたか？
By the way, with this line of thinking, then if we're just doing people who don't have an aversion to killing, I feel like purely on that notion, then maybe Old Man Who Cried Wolf and Mochi are the most likely suspects. I don't think it's them at all, by the way. I'm just saying they literally just describe Mochi of being able to do stuff without emotion and stuff like that, and the old man's just crazy. So those two would fit the category, but I don't think it's them. So
集団の中にサイコが1人いるってより、サイコが2人いる方が確率的にかなり低いだろう。それよりは、複数の真っ当な人間を無作為に集めて、全員一致した殺人者に仕立て上げる方法があると考えるべきだ。
surprised we're not talking about, because we talked about it, how the werewolves like take the form of people. We can just assume that happened, right?
そうでもなきゃ、こんな残酷なことが行われているのに、仲間割れが起きない説明がつかない。
そう言われると、学校の先生の受け売りですけど、思想を与えればいいんじゃないですか？
Hmm.
ふん
Hey, that's my response.
要は、自分たちのしていることが正しいと思えればいいんじゃないかって。
How?
狼の行為が正しいと。なるほど。それはとても面白い考え方だ。市民に戦争させる
And
常
you'd have
套
to
手段
be,
ってわけだ。
if we're doing that Tadoroy, then they'd have to be very, like, religious, like, very into the lore, which would be Granny, the grandpa, but he died. I feel like that's, and I guess Ritako, because she's a shrine priestess. So unless if we're doing it like that, then the two werewolves are Tai and Ritako. Which I don't, actually, I like that a little more than, Mochi and the crazy old guy. At least just because I feel like Tai is, like, I don't hate her being werewolf right now. Like, she's not someone I feel like she's innocent at all. I don't really think she's guilty like I do Yasunaga, but I don't really feel the sense I do from, like, the old man. And even Mochi in a way. So it's better. I mean, Ritako, I just said she feels a little more innocent to me, but Tai doesn't, so it's
ええ、
kind of balances that.
そういう話の時に習いました。でも、不妻子さんの考え、ちょっと偏りすぎじゃないですか？
というと、
例えば、この集落の女の人は大体奥ゆかしいし、決断は男任せのことが多いです。はるちゃんでさえそんなです。
But is Tai like that? I feel like she's a big dog in this community.
だから、狼が男女の二人で、男が主導して殺し、女は完全に言いなりってパターンもありえます。
It's fair. I mean, that's fair. I don't know if that helps with any deduction, but sure.
それにそもそも、今回たまたま迷いのない殺人があっただけで、いつもは多少の仲間割れはあったかもしれない。
Also fair,
うんうん。そりゃそうだ。
because he's a really good target.
この読み意味の宴が大昔から廃れずに残ってるのには何か秘密がありそうでさ。絶対確実に殺させる仕組みがないといけないんじゃないかってね。その点、君の意見は面白い。
面白いって言い方はないでしょう。こんな時に。
No, it's pretty interesting. I don't think just because it's a horrible situation, you can't. It's not like you can't find theories about it interesting. Obviously, easier said than done since I'm just an outside perspective, even more of an outsider than Haru-chan. Or not Haru-chan, normal Haru. But, yeah.
これはごめん。不謹慎だったね。じゃあ、もう一つだけ聞かせて。
He's like, oh, sorry, my bad. Anyways, let's continue our conversation, basically.
いいですけど。
さっき僕は、あえて不思議なことが起きてない想定で喋ったけど、君自身は不思議なことが起きてると思う？
What? I thought he was already werewolf pilled. Does he really think there's no mysterious powers at all?
考えたくないんですけど、起きてると思います。
I'm definitely convinced that there is some mysterious supernatural aspect, though I am open to it being both. Like, there's mysterious aspect, but maybe, like, then for Matoshima's death, if the other guy didn't die from corruption, like, maybe there's, like, a human murder element to it, too. I'm open to it, at least.
それはどうして？神様や化け物を見たことがあるとか？
いいえ、言いづらいんですけど、こんな偏僻なところに部外者が4人もいるタイミングで霧が出たところから大きな意志みたいなものを感じますよね。
Yeah, it'd be a crazy coincidence.
どう考えても人為的にこんな霧を作り出せるなんて思えない。
Probably true, unless you have, like, big funding. Like, it's a big government or big organization doing this whole thing, then he's right. A giant mist like this with such a big radius lasting multiple days is probably impossible for like a single or a two-person duo, unless they had like a lot of money. Though, if we had to say if someone was making the mist, I would think it's Nosato, man, because he has all the tech in his big ass mansion. I don't think it's him, but I'm just saying if he had to choose someone.
物意味の家に平然と入って人を殺せるのだって普通に考えたら奇妙ですし
Yeah, how the door was unlocked for Makishima and there's no struggle.
それに実際に僕らのうちの誰かが人を殺してるなら態度がおかしくなったり何か
True.
証拠を残したりするはず
True. I mean, that's Haru, but true. Haru's the only one that looked different from the death, but yeah.
その辺が説明がつかない以上不思議だって思います
そっか。なるほどね。わかった。ちなみに君は誰が狼だと思う？
Ooh, give me a soul read, baby.
久石春明さん
Me? Me or him? Oh, wait. Okay, he was just cutting me off. You cut me off with a stern voice.
悪いけどそれは宴ですべき話ですよ
No, I
あ
want
な
to
た
know,
にはそ
man.
れを聞く資格はないはずです
He's a wolf, dude. The vibes are immaculate, man. I think he's a wolf. I'm still locking it in. I'm just saying, by the end of the series, if he's a wolf, just so you know, I called this shit day one.
これは失敬。
My soul read from the first feast would be immaculate if he's actually the wolf. Please, 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 please be true so my ego goes through the roof.
ちゃんと聞いてください僕らは宴で意見の出し合いで一人生贄を
Really
選ばな
wish
きゃ
we
な
could
ら
be
な
a
いんで
part
す
of it, but it must be like for a future loop.
誰が怪しいって提案することは必要だけど大きな危険も伴います後でその発言を捕まえられてそれが決定打で殺されてしまうことがあり得る程度には
Hey, I'm just trying to help, man.
そういうことを聞かれたら僕は誰かが悪意を持って不妻子さんを操ってると思ってしまいます
He's, I don't know.
勘
It
弁してくだ
seems
さいよ
it's almost slimy the way he's deflecting this. I feel like he's evil.
ごもっともだ。心から謝るよ。
いえただ僕はあなたのことを盲目的に不吉だとかは思ってませんけど
But we know it's not me unless we're doing it unconsciously. Which, I mean, then how could I ever predict it? But normally from like a mystery sort of game, you just have to assume your character's not the culprit. Because then it's not much of a mystery because you can never really like predict that he is the culprit unless they give like a fair amount of clues suggesting that. So that's why, but typically I tend not to suspect the POV person. Unless there's like, again, lots of clues, or maybe you can see like for some reason the POV is unreliable. But in general, I think it's just for general mystery stories. You don't really need to suspect the protagonist as the culprit.
もし義継の死にあなたが関わってるようなことがあれば僕は
Try it, bro. Try it.
どう
I'm
す
a
る
biker, motherfucker. He glares at me.
僕は兄として仇を討たなきゃならない
そうか。まあ当然だね。極力疑われないように、今日も檻に入れてもらうとしよ
If the delinquent was killed by a wolf and not the corruption, it would actually be a decent kill for Yasunada just because it's his brother, so you wouldn't really suspect that he'd kill his own brother. Kind of gives him like an alibi a bit. Just saying, just
そ
saying.
れはやめた方がいいです
う。どうして？
今日は長引くかもしれないそうなると夕方です時間切れになるかもしれない
Yeah, I probably don't want to be in the cage by night.
寮の部屋に入って外からつっかい棒をしてもらうのがいいと思います
What? Why don't we just lock the door?
なるほど。そりゃ
Yeah,
いい
so
考え
we
だ。
can't leave. This boy is really smart. If Takumi Moroshi was a site foreman type, he was the manager type. I just see a talent for using people. Wolf Tat?
僕からも一つだけ
Also, he has
質
glasses.
問
Obligatory
いいですか？
smart person in anime.
ああ、もちろん。
What does Yasunada want to ask? You have to find out next time because we just hit the hour mark. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching this episode of Raging Loop. And next time, I mean, obviously I don't know, but I'm like 99% sure we'll actually get to the next feast, which is really exciting. That's like the most exciting part of this visual novel for now. You know, because it's crunch time. It's where we gotta make plays, and by we I mean them, because we're not part of it yet. But yeah, I'm excited to see who they choose. I'm excited to see who Takumi investigated. Did he go with the flow? Did he choose Nosato, or did he like soul read someone else? And if we'll get any of the other roles revealing themselves, mainly the monkeys. I feel like the monkeys should reveal themselves. And I guess the crow. The crow should. Spider definitely needs to stay secret though. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully I see you next time. Later.